I'm Mike Scoggin. I'm with Inspired Senior Advisors. We're a senior placement agency, and I usually tell people what I do is kind of like what real estate agents do when you're looking for a house. So I'm working with different individuals who are going to move out of their home into any kind of different senior community, and it's my service. I cover all the different types of communities. I'm based here, Los Gatos and Santa Clara County, but I do cover all the surrounding counties. And it's wonderful to have Julie put this event together today, because what we have here is a collection of some of the best properties that are right here in Santa Clara County, right around this area. And these are mostly very new facilities. And so this is a great chance to really understand what's happening lately with senior living and retirement living. So what we're trying to do here is look at the stereotype of what senior living has been in the past and try and change people's perspective about it. Because there's so many wonderful things about living in the senior community, and there's a lot of people. There's ARP did a survey, this is several years ago, where they surveyed about 6,000 different seniors, people that are 65 and over. Out of the 6,000 seniors, about 90% said they are not ever going to leave their house. The only way they're leaving the house is feet first. So, like 9 out of 10 people are in this mindset that they are just going to stay at home. And I think, to me, they just have this vision that on their 95th birthday, they're going to have a birthday party, and all their family and friends are going to be in their house, and they're going to be dancing at their own 95th birthday party. And at the end of the night, they're going to go to bed and pass away peacefully in their sleep, and everything will be wonderful. This is what I think most people have as a mindset. But this is not typical reality, right? That rarely happens. So, the interesting thing is that people are living longer, and there are really nice places to do your retirement instead of staying at home. I put together a really quick slide here that talks about kind of some different aspects of what these communities are all providing. So the first thing, most people feel like these senior communities, they're really out of their price range. They really can't afford to live in a senior retirement community. But in actuality, what you're doing is you're giving them a monthly check, and it's one payment. And your payment covers all your living expenses. It's your rent, it's your meals and snacks. The weekly housekeeping comes in, they're doing your sheets and towels and often your personal laundry. All the utilities are paid for. Your transportation, you need a car anymore, they're going to take you to your appointments, take you shopping. There's activities, there's entertainment coming in, you go on outings, and they're taking care of all the other ancillary things like the landscaping, repair and maintenance. You don't have any more of these expenses that you have in your house. Your house, you also have insurance and property tax. You might even have a mortgage. So all these different things are covered by this one monthly payment to the community. And the major thing about seniors, and this is Santa Clara County declared isolation to be the #1 senior health hazard, is senior isolation. And this is a pretty dramatic problem. You stay home because you want to stay in your house, and yet the #1 complaint from seniors, who knows what the #1 senior complaint is? Loneliness. Right? So, if you can combat loneliness, it really is the way to stay healthy. And you come to a community, there's constant social interaction. That's what they're designed to do, get you in the dining room, get you socializing, the activities, keep you stimulated, keep you busy, keep you involved, engaged. This is important for overall health. So this ongoing stimulation, part of the best ways to avoid dementia is with mental activity, also with physical activity. So that's where we get into exercise. Exercise is huge, right? Who ever heard of, if you don't use it, you lose it? Okay? And the other thing, and this is mine, activity is longevity. You've got to keep moving. And once you're sedentary, then you're on the road out. Right? keep it going. And really, however you can do it, there's walking, there's dancing, there's any kind of different activities. Swimming is probably the best exercise. They're all doing yoga, tai chi is very popular. So this is the blood flow to the brain is the best way to stave off dementia, mental activity and physical activity. So nutrition is huge. There's different things you can eat that are going to prevent dementia. You want leafy greens, you want beans, you want nuts, fruits, okay? I didn't say any meats in there, right? So you've got to watch out for processed meats, hot dogs, sausage, bacon. These are nitrates and nitrites. So all the communities know what the right foods are to keep their residents healthy. They're going to promote those. They have nutritionists on the staff, and they are making sure that their residents are eating a balanced diet, they're getting hydrated, and they have they regulate the intake, nobody's eating too much or too little. So this is all part of community life. Obviously, the biggest hazard for seniors living at home is they're going to fall. You don't know when or where they're going to fall. It could be the bathroom. And if they're alone, then you don't know when they're going to be discovered. So safety is really one of the best things about living in a community, because even if you fall, then there's going to be help nearby and very soon. So a lot of people are climbing up the ladder, they're going to clean out the gutters or something like that. Well, that's where a lot of accidents happen at home, up on a ladder. And if you don't have any stairs, any steps, any walking hazards, then you're going to minimize a lot of those falls, a lot of the accidents. And obviously, you've got the grab bars in the bathrooms that help with mobility. All of these have the grab bars in the right places, and they all have ways to call for help. And most of them are pendants. A lot of the pendants know where the resident is in the community. They have triangulation so they can tell if you're in the library, in the dining room, you press your pendant, they're going to come to where you are. And of course, in the bathrooms, there's pull cords, most of the bedrooms. So safety is a huge part of senior living. If you do the brain and the body exercises, you got the social interaction, you got the diet. The only other thing about dementia is the environment. So air pollution does affect dementia as well. Stay away from smoky environments. That can be a real accelerant for dementia. But when you cover all these different elements, you can push off dementia. So everybody's going to have cognitive decline. That's aging. Your memory is going to fade, but you can stave off dementia if you do these things. It is preventable, right? And the communities are the best ways to make it happen. This is the magic bullet. So then, obviously, when you're in a community, all the communities right here are assisted living. They're all licensed to provide caregivers in the community. And this means that they want independent residents to come in. They love independent residents to come in because it's less work, plus it's longevity. They know the residents can be there quite a while. So this is the kind of age-in-place model. You come in, you don't need any care, you don't pay for any care. Whenever you need care, care is available. You stay in the same apartment. We don't have any CCRCs here, but in the CCRC, when you need care, you've got to move to a different section of the community, to a new apartment. In all these communities, you stay in your same apartment, you're independent, you're assisted. Even when you get some level of dementia, you don't have to go into memory care until you become disoriented. So some people never go into memory care. You don't have to move to a skilled nursing at the end of the run, because long-term care is no longer in skilled nursing facilities. This is another sociological shift we're experiencing right now. So when you need long-term care, you need hospice care. The doctor says you got less than 6 months. You don't stay in skilled nursing. You come back home, and they send the hospice nurses to wherever you're living. So you're in your apartment for until the end. And this is what the model that is the new wave for all the communities. And so it's always a la carte. You only pay for what you need. They are going to respond to your calls for help, even though you may not have a scheduled caregiver coming in. And they are going to monitor your health on a regular basis because they all have nurses on the staff. This is part of what they provide as an ongoing service to make sure all the residents are staying healthy. And most of them also have now concierge doctor services, which means the doctor is there coming for house calls to visit with the residents. It's usually the nurse practitioner or the, anyway, it is a doctor person that you don't have to go to regular checkups anymore because they're coming to you, to your apartment. Sometimes there's offices in the community for concierge doctors. That's Senior Doc and Pine Park are the two companies that are doing that right now. That's very popular. And finally, for all these senior communities, you're not signing a lease. There's no long-term commitment. As long as you're not paying that big buy-in fee like a CCRC, you're really just there on a month-to-month basis, and you can say, you know what, there's another new community down the road, I'm going to go live there, and you give them 30-day notice, so you're not locked in anywhere. You can always move around if you want, and you can even, most of these places, not all of them, you can come in on a trial basis and just try it out for 30 days and see if you like it or not, and say, hey, thanks very much, I'll go home and think about it. But there's lots of different options, and there's never you're never locked in stone on anything. So it's really, when you look at when you're retired, when you really don't need the big house anymore, there's a lot of great options. And one of the interesting things here is right in the South Bay, we have a lot more new communities than they do in San Mateo County or San Francisco, even the East Bay. I think there's a little more opportunity. There's more real estate down here in the South Bay than there is available real estate in San Mateo County, even though there's more seniors in San Mateo County. So we're very fortunate to have a lot of new construction, new properties here, and that's what you're seeing right here. And I'd like to have them come up and do their blurbs right now, right, Julie?
That would be great.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.